Good morning, everyone. And I would say the honorable guests on this side, because you would be the listeners who would evaluate and say that what exactly can be done on what we are sharing with you. Honorable ministers on this side, Kakar sir. I think I am a teacher and I will remain a teacher all my life. So what I will talk is what comes from the core of my heart as a teacher, having been into this profession since 1977. So reforming the governance and educational landscape in India and strategies for the future. There are quite a few things which people have shared with ICT into education, and maybe I'll touch upon them later on when I come towards the end of this. So first thing as a teacher that we talk about is what Abdul Kalam, our Honorable President, shared about India Vision 2020. Vision of freedom, vision of development, and stand up to the world. Only strength respects strength. Can we really empower the word that my speakers used out here? Empower each and every individual, and I think empowerment comes with only education, the right kind of education, and that too from the very foundation, maybe right from the womb of the mother herself. Can we empower every individual with education so that we have strength in ourselves to be self-reliant and self-independent and seek justice in the right way? I'll be using quite a few words which my speakers have used. So what Abdul Kalam shares about transforming the vision into a developed country, I tried to rearrange these headings, but I found the way he has done it perfectly right. The way sir was talking about that unless the poverty, the hunger can be removed, we cannot talk of anything else. The quality of a common man, what he aspires for, basically is the food and shelter. How do we provide that to the masses that we have all around us? That's how maybe the education sector, when it comes, is a child who comes to the school with a vision of learning, a parent who sends a child to the school, that he's happy sending the child to the school for education rather than thinking over how will I pay the fees? How will I maintain my house? Who will do the household job if I'm going out for a job? And having been into the rural-most areas of Rajasthan or even in Chennai, Ranipet, or in Varanasi or in Hyderabad, probably moving around with teacher training programs, probably I have a touch of almost every part of the rural as well as the metro city of Delhi and Mumbai and Pune also. What we teachers always share with our students is vision without action is merely a dream, and action without vision is just passing time. So action and vision have to go together. Therefore, there has to be an integrated action by each one of us, whether it is ICT, whether it is agro industries, whether it is any other industry you talk about. Unless we all coordinate our efforts, India Vision 2020 will not come true, and we all have to work for it. Because I have to talk upon education landscape, I'm just showing you the first few slides, which talk about how the central government of India provides the education structure. This is mainly, I'm sure each one of us is aware of that. This is the Department of Education which state governments are providing everywhere. We have a huge structures that on paper exist, which Sunil sir was sharing about. Everything remains on paper. So let's translate them into actions to have the Vision 2020 coming true. Now the challenge is of providing that quality education to the masses. Because what I share with you is next, is the population proportion for education by age group. You can have a look, the way we have distribution of the age group of 6 to 11 years, 11 to 14 years. And we are having the maximum number in the higher education group, 18 to 24 years, and yet we'll find out the amount of education in that segment is probably the least when you go to the next slides. Look at the education enrollment by age group. Is happy to see at least the younger generation coming into the education. Primary education is leading the show, and I'm sure that's credit goes to Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan and many other ventures that the government and all governments have taken over. So probably we can look forward and think of a good future with so much of population going into the primary education at least. Then we talk about this number of schools. Look at the least number of schools, the senior secondary and secondary school. When we do not have school, when we do not have the infrastructures, when we do not have the facilities, how do we talk about education is a big question for all of us. The number enrolled versus completing school. Look at the number of class 12 students moving out. It's so less as compared to the number of population that we talked about. The higher educational institutions in India, the state universities are leading in number. Therefore, each one of us needs to work strongly towards vision of realizing that quality education for all of us. Now, this is something very important for all of us to look at, that the maximum enrollment is in the normal graduation and graduation honors courses. Now, what are these educated people with this kind of degrees are going to do in future is also a question for all of us. Therefore, professional institutes, vocational education training institutes, where are they? Then we talk about the financial aspect. How much do we spend upon elementary education? Is a very happy situation as far as 2008 and 9 is concerned. Therefore, I'm sure we can all think of the future is going to be bright and be happy about it, because elementary education, as it comes up, will be a better one. Secondary education, we really, really need to strengthen up. Then we talk about the post-school education. My worry is that we end up spending the least on language development. We talk of ICT in education, we talk of going abroad, we talk about setting up of the universities, but the language still remains a big bar. I have seen it all. The projected opportunity which will occur by 2020 in the various industries. I've just listed a few of them. How many jobs are actually appearing required by the various industries? But where is the manpower for that? Where is the skilled power for that? Where are the training institutions for that? That is the question. Are we all ready for all this? And for all this, I'm sure we require education. That is the question that we all have to address upon. Now, the education basically starts from preschool, and basically from the school education. I like to share that. What is the status of play school and preschool education, where we lay the foundations for education? As far as my experience goes, the present status, what I have seen is almost dominated by the private players. You can see a play school being run in a small room as well as into a 1-acre place where there is every facility is there, and a child of even 6 months is enrolled into that. Is that a very happy situation for our childhood? We all need to look into that. Most of them are unorganized. And many of them are franchises based also. There are few leading groups like Shamrock, Mother, Pride, Kidzy, Tree House, they're all having franchises. And basically, I have seen it myself, there are no regulations that we find, especially in the kindergarten group. We really need to look into that, because that's where the childhood actually is prepared for the formal educations of the future. Now, if I talk about what is the growth driver which almost every industry can look forward to, most important is the modern lifestyle which is coming up with this kind of life that we are heading towards, both the parents working. So they want a school at any cost, even at the age of 6 months. Then they're willing to pay anything that you ask for. And of course, the peer pressure, your child going to school? No, I haven't started. Oh, why not? Then the emerging trends, of course, people are becoming aware of what is elementary childhood education. There is a lot of motivation by the schools in order to attract those parents into the school. The kind of canvassing that goes is nobody's business in metro cities. Enrollment is also increasing, and schools go out of their way to retain them. We have a huge business potential of almost 6,000 to 7,000 crores. That's what the statistical data from the net says, and I'm sure the governments and the private sectors can always come forward to do something about it. Now, issues of concern are huge disparity that exists among all the setups that are available. It's not only in terms of infrastructure and facilities, but even in terms of curriculum and pedagogy that they are following. Even in terms of the competency of the faculty that they are appointing. You can find a normal graduate, even without any training, heading the school. What to talk of teaching heading the school? She set up a play school. Then quality teacher training institutes, we really need to look into that. Admission process, I know we had Ganguly committee and fixation of entry age at 4 years by the government, but then this whole fiasco starts when comes September, October, and the pressure on the parents for admission into primary schools, especially of the formal schools. You can really, really see the parents cribbing over each and every issue because it's still not streamlined at all.